Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller on Tuesday, February 13th. Happens to be my daughter's birthday. I told you I know about the sign Aquarius. Very familiar with it. All right. Question, do we have a video of Saturday's practicum? Yes. At the top of the funastrology.com webpage is a link. So you can go check it out there. And then there was this.
Hi, Thomas. I am in shock. I just listened to your February 12th podcast about Chiron and the north node of the moon. My Chiron, natal Chiron, is at 23 degrees Aries. My heart stopped for a minute because I was thinking it was 16 degrees Aries, but it's not. It's 23 degrees Aries. And it's in the 8th house. So just given everything that happened last year, some major upsets in my life and some reevaluation, I am terrified about next week and next week's aspect. So thank you for keeping this on my radar, and I'm going to have to do some research to find out exactly what I should be looking for and how I can make the most of this transition, and hopefully it won't be as chaotic as last week. Anyway, thanks for all that you do, Thomas. I really appreciate it.
Well, and I appreciate your question, and this is a good day to answer it because we do have a little bit of space. Not much going on in the sky today, but as we mentioned yesterday, Mars is now in Aquarius. So ruler of said Aries sign, Mars, is now an Aquarian Mars. So let's help her out here and think through some things that we might observe in our own chart. Now, she mentioned that all of this action for her is taking place in the 8th house. Welcome to the world of transformation. My own Chiron is in the 8th house, and when I turned 50, all of the stuff that you've heard and everything about the podcasts and why we're here today happened from basically the Chiron return. Massive transformation. Was it easy to go through? No. Would I trade it for anything? No way. But here's the deal. I didn't know about any of this. I was asleep spiritually, consciously. Oh, I was religious to a degree, but that doesn't count. I didn't understand the path of the soul. So there's one message when we sit down with a chart to interpret things. Let's always keep in mind there are two sides of the coin. Now that means there are two sides of the interpretation, but it's also two sides of where we are as we're applying what we see. So it's as much about where we are in our path as it is about what the chart is trying to tell us, which both have two sides. Now, I'm just speaking from personal experience here, but what I've found is when you sit down with your soul and your journal in whatever way or fashion that you choose to do that, and you go inside and you inquire, where am I in this transformational process? And you set intentions that you will hear from loving support from highest source. And you get intuitively that you need to tweak this belief system or open up to this particular technique or whatever it is, let go of this particular relationship. Are you willing to remove somebody from your life who has been in your life, whether it's a partner relationship or just a friend? Are you willing to make a big, bold stand for what you feel is the right thing to do inside? For those of you who kind of know what's going on in my life, you know that I had to make such a decision not too long ago that has directly affected my career. Ended a relationship with somebody that I'd been working with for a long time, but I did what I felt was best inside, and I validated it and confirmed it over a whole week's time. So it wasn't some quick thing, but I let the chips fall where they will. Was there angst around it? Sure. Will it work out for the best? You know it. So you let go and you trust. I was texting with a friend yesterday, in fact, and this topic came up, and it was around releasing. And this is something I don't think we do well enough, is release things. We need to hold our hands a lot less tightly around things. Give the universe room to move things into and out of our lives for our benefit that we might resist. And that's taking care of a big part of our part of the two-coin, four-sided piece of this astrological interpretation. There's a positive side and a shadow side to the aspects and to us. So are we operating from the shadow side or are we operating from the positive side? And I will tell you, when you are clinging on to something, you are operating from the shadow side. And that might set you up to get the shadow side of the aspect. So if you feel like this week's applying to the big aspect, the big conjunction between Chiron and the North Node next week, just sit down with your journal and get really pliable before the universe. What can I just let go of and trust? That's what I had to do. You're saying don't be so cryptic. Basically, I chose not to narrate part of an audiobook for Fred Dodson, who I've been working with for 10 years. I trusted my intuition. I did what I knew was screaming inside was right, and he chose to end the relationship. That, folks, is a big deal. How can I sleep at night? Because I know, and in fact, that could very well be related to this very aspect. Chiron coming back around, big aspect in Aries in the 8th house. But look at what's sitting right there, the North Node of the Moon. The direction that we are supposed to go toward, not away from. So anything that flows like that, for me, if I get a disturbance in the field, which I did, and I go inside and I confirm, which I did, and I take action on it with prayer, which I did, and the result changes the direction of something, to me, that I just chalk that up as God's direction, universal guidance. And whatever's coming is going to be better than what it replaced. In fact, I've been knowing for up to around 2 years that this was coming. And what is there, what's been recorded, is still very much there. It's on High Timeline Publishing, and it's for the Fred Dodson Classics now. And still great information there, life-changing information. And yet without all the stuff that I don't want to be doing, which seems to be the more current stuff. And that's fine. That's an agreement. And I open the chart and I see that the alignment in the sky is for my karmic cosmic good. So I don't resist it one bit. In fact, I welcome it with gratitude. So I hope that helps. That's really kind of the solution and the key to what's taking place there. Now, we'll come back. Let's see, one other aspect that's already in play today. Venus has sextiled Neptune. Same thing. You can take either the shadow side of that with around confusion, delusion, maybe lies and deception around relationships or money, but it is a sextile. So if you're choosing the positive side, then that's divine inspiration and wonderful insights and guidance around the areas that are ruled by Venus. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Back with Hump Day tomorrow. I love you so much. Big hug on the Chiron thing if you have a hard aspect with Chiron. Hope it helped today. All right? Love you. Bye-bye.